All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of out-of-body experiences. You know, those times when someone feels like their consciousness is actually separate from their physical body.
Definitely wild stuff.
And to help us navigate this, we're turning to the work of Robert Monroe and his book, Journeys Out of the Body.
Classic.
Now, what makes this deep dive even more interesting is that we're focusing on just one source, Monroe's personal account. And here's the kicker. Monroe wasn't some kind of mystic or guru, you know? He was a businessman, a practical guy with a background in science.
Yeah, you wouldn't normally picture someone so grounded in the tangible world to be exploring consciousness like that.
Exactly. It really makes you rethink those preconceived notions about who has these kinds of experiences.
For sure.
I'll admit, when I first heard about this whole out-of-body experience thing, I was skeptical, like floating outside your body. It sounded pretty out there, like something out of Star Trek, you know?
I get it. It's a lot to take in.
But then I started reading about Monroe's approach, and he was so meticulous about figuring out what was happening to him. I mean, the guy spent years talking to doctors, trying to find a medical explanation for these episodes where he felt detached from his body. He called them the second state.
Which is a key point that makes his work resonate with anyone who likes a good, rigorous approach. Monroe wasn't just accepting these experiences blindly, he was wrestling with scientific skepticism, even his own doubts.
He even described his early OBEs in such detail. The feeling of floating, these intense vibrations, and even seeing his own body from above.
It's like he could describe it vividly. He even talks about looking down and seeing his wife sleeping peacefully, totally unaware that he was, hovering near the ceiling.
Oh, that'd be a strange feeling, to see yourself as separate, like looking down from outside yourself.
Exactly. And it's important to remember he wasn't just passively observing. He talked about being able to interact with objects and even people while in the second state.
So he wasn't just letting these experiences wash over him, he was actively trying to document and verify them.
Absolutely. To make sure it wasn't a dream, he tried to confirm the details of what he'd experienced. He even went as far as to create a system for mapping out what he called locales.
Localis.
Yeah, these distinct environments or dimensions he claimed to have visited during an OBE. Imagine different realities coexisting with our own.
Locales. That's a mind-bending concept. It's like those planes of existence you hear about in fantasy stories.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. And to make things even more interesting, he ran into other beings in some of these locales.
Other beings? Like what?
While some were friendly and awe-inspiring, while others, well, not so much.
He doesn't shy away from the fact that some of those encounters were downright frightening.
Exactly. And I think it speaks to his honesty that he doesn't just gloss over those more unsettling aspects, Like, it would be easy to just present the positive encounters, but he lays it all out there. Which reminds us that exploring uncharted territory, even within our own minds, can come with challenges.
Absolutely. He talks about feeling these intense vibrations as a key part of his out-of-body experiences. And he even started experimenting with different techniques to try and cause this vibrational state. Things like audio recordings and countdown methods.
Again, very methodical, very scientific mind. He wasn't just hoping for an out-of-body experience to happen. He was actively experimenting, like a researcher.
And did he find any patterns or consistent methods to induce these experiences? And did he find any patterns or consistent methods to induce these experiences?
Well, he discovered that getting to that state of no thought, that thing people talk about with meditation, way easier said than done.
Right.
He talks about how our thoughts, all of them, even the ones we don't realize we're having, can really mess with the whole out-of-body experience.
So that's why some of his experiences felt so unpredictable.
Exactly. And Monroe owns up to that. He's not claiming to have all the answers, which honestly makes his work even more believable.
So for those listening who might be thinking, all right, this is wild, but how do I actually have an out-of-body experience?
Yep.
Did Monroe give any advice?
He did. He talks about how important mental control is, even outlines some techniques for separating from the body, and this is crucial, how to get back safely. But, and it's a big but, he's very clear. This is serious business, not a game.
Not like trying a new ice cream flavor. We're talking about exploring consciousness here. And there are risks, like with any exploration.
Exactly.
But for Monroe, it seems those risks were worth it. To understand these experiences, what they might mean for how we think about life, death, even consciousness itself.
He even talks about a third force, a kind of energy he believed was the driving force behind these out-of-body experiences. Think of it as an energy we haven't quite figured out scientifically.
It's mind-blowing when you really think about it. What if we could understand this third force? It could change everything. Medicine, psychology, even how we see the universe?
Very fascinating.
Yeah.
What stands out to you most about Monroe's perspective?
His honesty about his own fears really struck me. He's not trying to act like some fearless explorer of other realms. He admits that heading into the unknown, even within yourself, is scary. It makes him relatable, human.
Absolutely. He describes some encounters with entities that weren't exactly friendly, experiences that left him shaken, questioning himself. But instead of brushing them off as just hallucinations or bad dreams, he digs in, tries to understand what they say about consciousness. That commitment to exploring even the tough stuff is remarkable.
He doesn't try to sugarcoat anything either. He's very upfront about the challenges and even dangers of out-of-body experiences. Mental control, clear intentions, the possibility of encountering negative energy entities. It's not all sunshine and roses in this second state.
And that brings up an interesting question. Why would anyone want to explore these realms, knowing the risks? What is it about the out-of-body experience that's so alluring? Is it just curiosity, or is there something more? A longing for something beyond our physical limits?
That's the big question, isn't it? I bet the answer is different for everyone. Some, maybe it's a spiritual thing, a search for meaning, a connection to something bigger. Others, it could be purely scientific curiosity, pushing the boundaries of knowledge. And some, maybe it's both.
It's intriguing that Monroe's work seems to embrace all of those aspects. He was a scientist, a mystic, an explorer all in one, not afraid to ask those big questions.
As we delve deeper into his book, you realize it's about more than just out-of-body experiences. It's about consciousness itself, the potential of the mind, the nature of reality.
He suggests that our perception of the world is limited by what we can see, hear, touch, and that there are realms of existence we can't even grasp right now.
He even hints at parallel universes, dimensions coexisting with our own. Makes your head spin.
Right. And that leads to another fascinating point. If these other realms are real, what does that mean for how we understand life and death? Does consciousness just end when our bodies die? Are there other life forms out there in those realms? Big questions.
Questions people have been asking for centuries, and whether you take Monroe's experiences literally or not, they offer a new way to look at those mysteries.
Exactly. And for someone like you, clearly drawn to these deeper questions, Monroe's work can be a guide. He doesn't just give insights into out-of-body experiences. He offers advice for those who actually want to explore these realms.
But he also stresses responsible exploration, right?
Mhm.
He's clear about the potential dangers, the importance of being mentally and emotionally prepared, staying grounded.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's not saying to abandon this life. He's saying these experiences can enhance our physical lives, expand our understanding of ourselves and the universe.
One thing that resonates with me is his emphasis on intention. Our thoughts and beliefs, they actually shape our reality in both the physical world and that second state. So if we go into these experiences with fear, negativity, we're more likely to attract that kind of energy.
Powerful insight. And it speaks to the need for mental and emotional preparation. He suggests we cultivate curiosity, openness, a willingness to let go of our preconceived notions, embrace the unknown.
And he's not afraid to address the spiritual side either. He
Yeah.
talks about encountering beings of light, experiencing profound love and compassion, gaining insights into how everything's connected.
He even suggests that these experiences can lead to a deeper understanding of our own spirituality, our connection to something greater than ourselves, the purpose of our existence. Pretty heady stuff, but inspiring.
It is inspiring. Suggests there's so much more to life than what we see and touch, a whole realm of possibilities waiting to be discovered.
And for someone who might be feeling lost or overwhelmed, that message can be incredibly powerful.
It really gets you thinking. Even if you're not planning on having an out-of-body experience anytime soon, there's something hopeful about the idea that we can shape our own realities.
It's empowering for sure. And that's what's so cool about Monroe's work.
Yeah.
It makes you reconsider what's actually possible.
Which brings us to the question you're probably asking yourself. What does this all mean for me? How can we actually use these ideas from Monroe's experiences in our own lives, especially if we're not, planning on any astral projection today?
That's the exciting part. Monroe's work isn't just some abstract theory. He actually offers practical applications for what he learned, stuff that can make a difference in your everyday life.
Let's break that down a bit. What are some of those practical takeaways?
Well, his focus on mental control and intention is huge. Whether you're trying to navigate the second state or just get through your to-do list, he talks about calming the mind, focusing your attention, directing your energy. All super useful skills.
So it's not just about floating outside your body, it's about mastering your mind, your thoughts, your emotions.
Exactly. And Monroe suggests that when you get good at these mental techniques, it can lead to some pretty amazing stuff. Increased self-awareness, better relationships, even a boost in creativity. It's like he's saying that by exploring our consciousness, we unlock hidden potential and live more fulfilling lives.
Almost sounds too good to be true. But then again, it makes sense, right? If we're always distracted, thoughts racing, emotions all over the place, how can we focus on what matters? How can we connect with ourselves and others?
That's the heart of it. And that's where Monroe offers a really useful framework. It's about understanding and mastering our own minds, tapping into our inner potential, and living more authentically. It's not just about having those out there experiences, it's about using them, or even just the possibility of them for personal growth.
It's like he's saying, hey, there's a whole other world out there, but you don't have to physically leave to explore it. Start here, right now. Cultivate awareness, master your thoughts, connect with your true self.
It's a message that really hits home, especially these days. We're constantly flooded with information, distractions, pressures. Monroe reminds us that we have the power to choose our own reality, to create our own experiences, to live a life we truly value.
We're not just along for the ride, we have choices and we can shape our own destiny.
Exactly. For someone feeling lost or stuck, that's incredibly powerful.
It's a message of hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It tells us that we're capable of incredible growth, transformation, even transcendence. Monroe gives us a glimpse of what's possible. He shows us we can break free from the limits of our everyday reality and embrace something more.
So even if you never have an out-of-body experience, Monroe's work can still change your life. It makes you question your assumptions, broaden your perspective, and maybe, just maybe, live a more conscious and meaningful life.
Journeys Out of the Body is so much more than just a book about OBEs. It's about the incredible potential we all have, the mysteries of consciousness, the infinite possibilities waiting for us when we step outside our comfort zones. It reminds us that the most important journey is the one we take inward.
And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into Robert Monroe's Journeys Out of the Body. We hope you found this exploration as mind-expanding as we did. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep diving deep